Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the 93rd edition of Cinema Effect. I'm Zach, and I'm joined by the Stone Cold Steve Austin to my Triple H, Jaden.
Wow, more wrestling ones.
I know.
Yeah, okay.
We're the two-man power trip.
Yeah, I only know this because of that one short film I watched. So, yes.
Oh, yeah. Is two-man power trip? I genuinely don't know this. Is that only a wrestling thing? Like, is that a phrase anyone uses for any other context?
I haven't heard it before. No.
Okay. No, that's a good indication. Okay, all right, that's good. So, of course, for everyone who wants to know, Triple H, Stone Cold Steve Austin, two heels at the top of their game in 2001, for a very brief stint, became a tag team. They teamed up. It was interesting. It was cool. And you're Steve Austin because you're more popular, and I'm Triple H because I aspire to be that jacked. That's my logic, just so you know. I'm nowhere near that jacked at all.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the dream, though.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I'm glad you indulged me there for a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cinema Effect, the podcast where we review and talk about a different movie every single Monday. I will say, sometimes I randomly throw it in here. Leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. Okay? Please do it. Follow the Instagram page. Remember to tell your friends and family about the show. We appreciate it. But this week, we're reviewing a little Korean film called Train to Busan?
Busan. I don't know.
Busan. You'd say Busan?
I'd say it like that.
Okay.
That sounds more right, but I don't know.
Do they actually pronounce it like in any understandable English way in the film? I don't think so.
I don't think they say it on its own. I think it always gets lost in a sentence. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So I really can't even go off that. Busan. Train to Busan. All right.
You say little Korean film, but like it's like the 7th most popular Korean film of all time.
It is. No, totally. Yeah. We'll get into that. It opened in South Korea on the 20th of July, 2016. It's directed by Sang Ho Yeon. Jesus, some genre. It's an action zombie movie. And the synopsis says, while a zombie virus breaks out in South Korea, passengers struggle to survive on the train from Seoul to Busan. I also forgot to mention that Liam isn't here, so there's that too. He's in the trenches right now, you know. So anyway, did he watch the film? Did he log it?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, that's cool.
And he has given his rating as well. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Jan, what do you think of it? Did you recommend it? I don't remember. Did you suggest this one?
Yeah. Yeah. No. I think I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this has been a long time coming for me. Watch.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it's really decent. If you're not a fan of zombie films, this isn't going to do anything to convert you.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised at how kind of average it was because I was expecting a product a lot better based on what I've heard. But I still think it was a good movie. I still think it was a good zombie movie. But seeing the way it connected with the mainstream, I was expecting more from it. But I still think it was a good enough time.
Yeah, I saw in the trivia that I'd never heard of this movie at all. Edgar Wright had tweeted something about it and loved it apparently or something. So it resonated with people beyond sort of what you'd expect, I guess, which was surprising to learn. I mean, how else had you heard of it? You know, it's sort of interesting to me. I was surprised how much I liked this. Going in, I was like, I don't know, I'm getting some sort of Korean zombie movie. I'm like, all right, whatever. And I don't know. I thought it was cool. I thought it was really well made. It was definitely impressive technically for what it was. I feel like just the premise alone, South Korean film, you're on a train and there's a zombie outbreak, pretty straightforward stuff. And just by that alone, that to me on paper sounds like a cheesy film, like a budget film, whatever. And it takes itself seriously and goes above and beyond, I think, technically to be something that's actually quite impressive, to where it's like, you guys didn't have to try this hard for this, you know what I mean? I feel like you could have done way less and people would have just been like, yeah, it was cool, whatever. And, but the story, I don't know, it was cool. It was simple and effective, thematically as well. And I don't know, I can always appreciate that. I recognized the main dude. Was he the guy? Hang on. He was the guy in Squid Game, right? Didn't he play the flip thing?
Yeah.
Is that who he was?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Have you seen him in anything else? Because for a second I was like, wait, is this guy from Parasite? Like I was trying to figure out where I knew him from.
No, I think he's like a really famous actor over there, though.
Right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's like pretty well known over there. So
Squid Game was probably just like a fun cameo for him or something.
yeah, just side project while it was just
Yeah. I don't know why he was literally in like 2 minutes of that show and he stuck out to me for some reason. I don't know. I guess he's good. I know. I like him in the movie. To be fair, he's cool. He plays the dickhead dad, of course, that archetype of a character, the dickhead father, quite well, I think. And he's got heart. He's believable. He cares. But he's a bit cold at the start, and that's the standard sort of arc the movie follows. The second that we get the opening, or sort of semi-opening scene with him going to his daughter, and they hang out in their room and they have a chat. It's like, okay, like I'm calling it now. This movie's about him reconnecting with his daughter. It's not. You can see it coming a mile away, but I thought it was pretty well done, and I don't know. I quite like the child performance too. Actually, to be fair.
Yeah, I think this has one of the best family dynamics in a zombie film I've seen. Well, a zombie film where it relies on it being like a core part of the story. It for sure has one of the best ones, I think.
Yeah.
To the point where I was proper emotional, when he had to jump off the train.
Dude, that was a powerful scene. It was. It was really good. It was really well done, I thought.
And I think the child actor did really well there because, like, the screaming and crying wasn't annoying, but, like, maybe that was just because it was a foreign performance.
That's always the thing with child actors. You have to, like, scrape the line of, like, okay, we need them to scream and yell. How do we make it not annoying? Because it's just going to be annoying probably, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, I was surprised probably more than anything how cinematic the movie felt overall. I really liked the slow start. It really builds tension, and you spend, I don't know, it feels like a good, I guess, like 25 minutes before anything really happens in terms of like the train and the action and stuff. And just a lot of like just slow establishing shots and family moments, and we see him at work and all this kind of just slower stuff. But I thought it was quite good because you obviously get the sense there's something coming, as there always is in these zombie films. The standard, you hear the sirens and the fire trucks and all that shit coming past. But I don't know. I think more than anything that was cool. It grounded it. It made it suspenseful. Again, in a way where, like, I know what I'm clicking on. I know this is a zombie flick. I don't know if we needed to do this. But it worked. And I thought the film was beautiful too. I don't know if you felt the same way.
Yeah.
It was surprisingly stunning. Like, I'm sort of a sucker for, I don't know if you would help me describe it, but I'm sort of a sucker for lighting and color grading that has that sort of orange flare. Like, it sort of makes the colors pop. I don't know how to describe it. It's like, it's sort of a color style that a lot of dramas use. Like a lot of HBO loves this sort of lighting. I don't know how to put it. It's like in stark contrast to something that Edgar Wright would do or something. There's a lot of, I don't know how to describe it at all. Do you know what I mean? I just
I don't know. I thought it felt very natural in what it did. I wouldn't really, it's definitely not expressionistic lighting. If that's kind of the exact opposite of what you're saying, I guess.
Maybe. I don't know what I'm saying. That's this whole thing. But
did you increase the vibrancy a bit? I don't know. Yeah.
Right. Maybe that's what it is. Just say, dude, put an Instagram filter on it. And I like it. But it wasn't that though. It wasn't that at all.
No, yeah.
I don't know. I like the way it was lit. I'll think on it. And I'll come back with why. Maybe I'll make that a homework assignment for me or something. I really like the score as well. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Too. There was a lot of variety in there as well.
I really liked just because you mentioned the fire truck passing scene, like the kind of like pensive kind of tone that it had in that little scene as she holds her hand out the window and the ash falls. Which I always love when there's like ash and it looks like snow and then they rub it and it's like, oh, it's ash and whatever. Such a small thing, but I love it every time.
It stood out to me multiple times, the score, in terms of how well it was doing. And it wasn't one of those situations where, like, the score is good because you don't notice it and it contributes to the film. Like, I did notice it actively, in a positive way. There were multiple times when the film's trying to build tension, and there are clear, interesting choices with the score. There were moments of piano, there were moments of synth, and I was like, "Whoa, all right! Like this is cool. Feels ballsy for this." There wasn't just generic sort of orchestral action stuff,
Mm.
So I don't know who composed it, but God bless you, because I really enjoyed that aspect of the film. Probably, honestly, maybe more than anything else. It really stood out to me.
I think I was having a look, and I can't remember if the cinematographer or the composer also worked on Squid Game. I can't remember which one was which, but I was like, "Ha, crossovers."
I feel like it could be the cinematographer. I feel like I see
Mm.
something there, but I don't know. Because I don't remember the Squid Game score sticking out to me as much.
I mean, I think the opening theme is very
Of Squid Game?
yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I mean, this to me, and Squid Game as well, which I enjoyed, but there's some good South Korean stuff out there. I'm just gonna say, I feel like no one's heard of this little movie called Parasite, South Korean
Mm.
film. People sort of like it, maybe. I thought some of the scenes as well were quite well written. There's that scene at the start when they first get on the train, and we sort of get little establishing moments with just different passengers and characters on the train. I think you get like ones with the workers and stuff. Just very quick scenes, very effective scenes that just establish like exactly who these people are, and little, I don't know, what's like slice of life moments with them that feel fun. Like you get the two old ladies, which has a heartbreaking result. You get like, of course, the pregnant wife and the dude from Eternals, who I enjoyed. I felt so bad because I'm like, I know that guy from the MCU, and I'm like, but it's not Benedict Wong, right? Like that's not him. I felt really bad, and I was like, wait, no, it's Eternals guy. I like him a lot as well. And then there was like, and then you get like the teenagers. You throw some
I
teenagers in
dude,
there.
I was really upset that because I thought they killed off all the baseball team in one go. I was like, damn. I was looking forward to the baseball team, but then they come
Yeah,
back. I was like, yes.
yeah, dude, they do come back. But then no, but they don't. Like they come
Mm.
back and then they go. They go real
Yeah.
hard. Yeah, so I don't know. You have all these like characters on the train, supporting cast on there, and like of course the dickhead like CEO person,
COO.
COO. That's right. That's right.
Mm.
He's a chief operating officer. Yeah. And I thought all those scenes were written. Like I felt like I cared about them all just enough. Like they did not spend much time on them at all, but it was quite effective, I think, in that regard. And it happens all sort of right before everything goes to shit on the train and everyone starts turning. And I think for me, that's like my thing with the movie, and why I don't hold it in the highest regard, and why it's my least favorite. My least favorite part of the movie is just the fact it's a zombie movie. You know what I mean? And that's like obviously not a criticism. Like that's just inherently what it is. But to me, like that's the part of the movie that's the hardest to get into, where it's just like, all right, like in zombies, I get it. I appreciated that they were fast. There was something I liked their. I know they're like crazy movements and like the way they snap their necks back and backs back and stuff. Like there was, I don't know, they weren't totally boring. Like the most boring version of a zombie you can get is a Walking Dead zombie where they just freaking do nothing. But so I appreciate they were definitely threatening. There's no doubt. But just in terms of genre, that's the only thing that was holding me back. I don't know if you're sick of zombie stuff at all, but I think that's just where I'm at. Where it's an unfortunate sort of side effect of it.
No, no, I wouldn't say I'm sick of zombie films in any way, really. Yeah, that's why I still recommend it because I'm still keen looking for good ones.
Yeah.
I think the fact that I have seen good ones keeps me engaged in the genre. Hoping that I can find other good products and kind of sift through the shit.
Mm.
Yeah, no, I think this was. It's like I said at the start. I don't think it's gonna. If you're not a fan of zombie movies, I don't think it's gonna flip you like that. But I still think it's a strong one.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you. Where I'm not a fan of zombie movies, it did not flip me on them, but it has a lot to appreciate. Where like it was totally worth watching. I really did like it for that reason.
Mm.
But it was just one of those things where like, I did totally actively notice myself like every time like zombies turn up and they have to like stealth around zombies like that they were definitely the moments where my engagement drew back compared to the character moments, compared to even like I did actually more than anything, I did actually like the faster paced moments with the zombies, like when they leave the I don't know what the hell the stop was, but when they get off the train and they're like creeping around the station, and then they realize there's a whole swarm of them out the front, and they have to run back. Like that was probably the best for me. Like fast paced action zombie scene that was in the film. I quite liked that one a lot, and I think more than anything contributing to that scale was just the amount of extras that they used and shot in camera like that. That really, really helped in my opinion. There's only so much I'm going to enjoy seeing like CG zombies and stuff, but it's one of those situations where $10 million was the budget. It's not, nothing budget. It's not a crazy budget. And I just feel like it was one of those things where it was used really effectively to hire extras and do some really cool shots. I love some of the aerial shots sort of in that sequence, but then also later where you just get like so many people on screen. Some of the ones towards the end where
At like the second station where like they have to get on the other train.
Yeah. And I think that was it. And yeah, like some of the tracking like drone shots of just like literally hundreds of zombie extras like running at the main characters, and they're quite long, and I really enjoyed those. I thought that was really well done, and it's things like that create scale tension and don't make the film feel dumb. Like if zombies were, if they were CG or if they were only ever in close quarters, I feel like I'd get sick of it, but I did enjoy that. But God bless the Eternals, man. I'm not even going to bother try saying his name.
Isn't it Ma Dong-suk or something like that?
Oh, yeah, it is. Sorry, I've got it here. Yeah. Ma Dong-suk. Yeah, he's great. Dude, when he freaking just like started bare knuckle boxing these guys.
I love that part. I love the fact that the zombies are threatening, but not threatening enough that he can just come up there and just
You're just giving them uppercuts and shit, dude. I was so here for that. That was great. That was awesome. And, rest in peace to him, man.
It's something that I saw on one of the Letterboxd reviewers say is like, because guns aren't easily accessible in South Korea like they are in America. There's that difference in the fact that the weapons or defenses have to be like improvised and whatnot, and it creates for some interesting like action because you can't just shooting at them or whatever. You're up close and stuff like that, and I think that's it's really cool. Like what would we use if it was in Australia? It's like
that's right. Yeah. Well, I think first of all, I would really hope there was just a baseball team on the train, so there'd be bats. Like that's a great coincidence. First of all, I'd definitely want for that. So I'd want a cricket team, I guess. That's the most likely one.
Oh yeah, pads and all. It's protection,
helmet. I don't know how I'd cope otherwise though. Like seriously, like dude, if you don't have that, like what? I'm not punching these zombies. I'm not surviving that way.
Just give up.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's for sure, no doubt. There was that little bit, I think, towards the end, close to when he died, when he grabbed the shield too. I don't know what I can't remember what he was using as the shield, but that was cool. I like that a lot.
Wasn't it the actual like riot shield that someone had dropped at the station? Or was that late? Or was there something else later? That
I don't remember it being that big. Because it wasn't. Was it a normal looking like traditional riot shield?
I mean, I think there was one of those, but then I think there was like also like one of those like circle like black.
Yeah, it was that one. Yeah. No, I quite like that. Again, I'd really desperately hope there were shields in a real apocalypse.
Just there,
yeah, man. But I think it's just a credit to the direction overall. Is that we do have these slower moments that I like. We have these grander shots that I like. But overall, 75% of this movie's in the train, in that closed space, sometimes very closed space. Because I feel like we get a lot of scenes even where they're just like in a little, like a train is a small enough space, but even scenes where we're in like just tight, I don't even know what you call those like sections that like divide the carriages or whatever.
I think they called it the vestibule. Is that right?
The vestibule? That's a very specific name.
It's an anteroom. So like a room in between.
Okay.
Like a chamber opening. So like, that's what they called it. So I mean, like, I'll go with that.
Yeah, we'll go with that. There you go. You learn something new.
Mm.
Like there's just a lot of compelling scenes in really small spaces. Of course, on a real set, like there's no, very little CG green screen going on here. So I think that's a credit to the direction. It really is not stale. It does not feel stale at all. I think that's really cool. I said about the old lady, right? When that was sad. I mean, I wouldn't have done that, but
No,
at
I
all.
think it's really interesting because I think had these been English language, I think a lot of these things would have pissed me off, and I think that CEO character would have annoyed me too much. Obviously, that was his kind of character,
Yeah.
but like,
Yeah.
I think had it been English, I think it would have been over the top. So it's made me curious for the English remake as to how that'll be, how I'll take that.
There's an English remake coming?
Called Train to New York.
No.
Yeah.
How did I not see that in the trivia? I don't think it was there. God. Wow. God, I do not want that.
No.
Right?
No. Because, when the news first came out for it, I was like, everyone was upset because I just watched the Korean version. And, I don't think there's really anything wrong with making remakes in English language.
I don't either, to be clear.
If something makes a story more accessible, I don't think it's really that bad. Obviously, you'll always have the original and whatnot. But, after actually watching the movie, I'm like, well, some of this stuff's going to be hard to do in English without it being annoying.
Yeah, because there's no doubt, it does follow these tropes and sort of... It has its... There's no zombie movie I've seen that doesn't have its fair share of, just a dumb, why would a character do that moment, Which is fine. But, yeah, no, I totally agree with you on that COO character because, put him in... he's obviously meant to be that character. There always has to be that character that's, a pain in the ass and it ruins, everything for everyone else, So he's that. Yeah, but that's a good point. The fact, if he was because I feel like he was acting his heart out, And if they were in English, it probably would be grating. So that's a good point. I don't know. Hopefully they, do something more interesting with that in the English version. But I don't know. I've got no interest in seeing the English version unless it looks amazing or something.
Yeah. Can't remember who was attached. I think there was a name attached to it. I can't remember, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Leonardo.
Yeah. Scarlett Johansson.
Shit, maybe I would see it. At the start, I did mention sort of the themes of the film. Very straightforward stuff, dude. Very straightforward stuff. A father reconnecting with his daughter. Isn't he a funds manager? Isn't that what they say?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, if you have a character in your film who's a funds manager, then you know they're an asshole, all right? That's just... that's the way it goes, And, of course, the story about him taking her for granted and family for granted and all that. And I quite enjoyed it. I liked how the daughter... She seemed quite smart, too. She wasn't some dumbass kid, you know what I mean? There's that scene where she seems very perceptive and I think it's Eternal's man talking to his wife about how her dad's an asshole. And she's like, yeah, I know, don't worry, everyone's thinking that. I'm like, wow, that's very perceptive for a 6-year-old, to be that self-aware. I was like, gee. But then, I don't know, simple stuff, dude. The whole singing thing where she sings for her dad and then she couldn't finish the song because he wasn't there. It's oh, tearjerker, It's oh, that's sad. That was sweet. And I liked how it all wrapped up and there was a bit of reconciliation there. The screaming wasn't annoying. That was the main takeaway, no doubt. But just that, his death at the end was a very effective scene, I thought. Overall, the score and the performances and just, I think more than anything, the choice to sort of have him. It was everything. It was the choice of him turning, envisioning the birth of his daughter and the younger visions sort of coming in, and then the actual final shot of him falling off the train with the silhouetted. That was quite powerful, I thought. It's just, I think it was one of those things where it was just edited and the choice again to do that shot just really made something that was, at the end of the day, it's pretty cliche. And I sort of, it's not hard to expect this guy to die at the end of the film, but it was quite memorable. I think at the end of the day, I was quite impressed with it. And that's not even the end of the film,
I think it's the climax. I think the rest is just kind of, what's it called?
Resolution.
like
whatever.
know,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's after the peak. It's the yeah.
I would just say that the resolution. I don't know if that's what it's really called.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Well, yeah. What I know exactly that diagram thing that you're thinking of. But hey, man, no, dude, that soldier could have pulled the Last of Us opening and just straight up murdered them. You know what I mean? That could have been the climax. Remember that?
Well, I was expecting that to happen at the first station they went to. You know how like
Oh yeah,
where they're all getting off and like there was no one around, but there was meant to be army and they're going into quarantine. I thought that the quarantine was just going to be them just shooting up everyone. I was like, a bit of a no Russian type thing, but no.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man, that would have been something. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was good. I mean, I didn't actually think he was gonna shoot them, obviously, but it was cool. Like, I like the touch of her singing and that making them all realize, and it's that classic like post-apocalyptic, genre ending where you have the two survivors. It's usually two survivors, walking up to the military base or the new safe haven in this new world sort of thing. And, it's standard, but for that point, the movie had sort of emotionally climaxed for me. So, like, by that point, it was just, yeah, cool. Like, this is neat. They made it. I'm glad. And now the daughter, I don't know any of these characters' names. I think I think is evident. Suwan.
Yeah.
Suwan. Cool. Yeah. She has a mother now, so that's cool.
She got two mothers, kind of. I'm sure that.
Oh, she's dead. She's dead. You know what I mean?
You reckon?
I've got no idea, but I don't know if your odds are too great in this scenario.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I thought it was a nice ending, and you had I think it was like guitar over the credits. I think.
Can't recall.
God damn it! Why don't you remember? Seriously.
I should have the movie running like in the background while we're doing this, so I can just get to a reference. Yeah.
You should just watch it, like, because you need to listen to the guitar. So you can't just watch it. The trivia: Train to Busan is director Sang Ho Yeon's first live-action film, which I was like, whoa, really? And his previous works have all been animated features. And there's also, like, I saw an animated prequel to this movie.
Yeah, I was going to say too, yeah, it's like what's it called? Seoul Station.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I was super surprised.
I had no idea about that either. I was like, yeah.
He wrote and directed it, yeah.
There was a sequel as well called Peninsula, but I didn't even realize that was out. I thought that was a thing that was coming soon. But that's out, but I'm not going to watch it because I think it's going to tarnish this experience, but yeah.
Oh, is it not well liked?
Not quite, but it also like kind of deviates. It's something about like survivors have to make like a last stand type thing. So I think it just kind of it's such a shift from formula that I don't want to really engage with it.
Do you know if it's the same characters or?
I don't believe so. No, I had to look at the cast list. I don't think it was.
It's interesting. I appreciate him for trying to like create his own zombie cinematic universe where he's just like, yeah, I'm going to make a prequel and a sequel, whatever, dude. And that, yeah, I was super surprised. Like, I think the animated thing came out a month after this film. So he was like directing them both at the same time. It was like, oh, God damn it, you're a busy guy. I respect you.
Yeah, if I can find the prequel, I'll probably watch that because it's, it's, I don't know. I think at least it has like a stylistic value, whereas with the sequel, yeah, it might be something to steer away from.
Yeah. Yeah, I did see some screenshots. It looked quite nice, the animation. I mean, the actor Madong Seok. Oh Jesus! Eternals man. He used to be Gong Yu's. Gong Yu is the main dude, the main lead guy. He used to be his personal trainer. Wow, what a way to reunite! Hey guys, you want to make this zombie movie? Oh, you haven't seen you since I coached you 10 years ago. That's kind of weird, but I like it. Small world in Korean cinema. I don't think I had much else except that I don't know why the hell anyone's buying anyone a Wii in 2016.
Yeah, I thought that was strange too, but I was like, maybe it's just Korea. I don't know, man.
I don't know.
It was a different console to what we have down here, isn't it? Wasn't it?
It was like it was a black Wii with.
But like the actual console looked different to what our ones do. Yeah,
I didn't notice that. It might have.
It was like rounded edges and shit, and it was like
that's weird.
Yeah,
that's so weird. I was like, yeah, man. I I think you can get something better than a Wii for this child. But, whatever. I get Nintendo. But that's the other thing, right? Like, because it's like clearly product placement, right? Why would Nintendo want to have an old product in there?
Well, she also has a 3DS. You say that for a second.
That was modern at the time. Yeah, that's true. That's weird. I don't know. I was kind of curious about that. I was like,
maybe Korea got like an updated Wii that we didn't get.
Maybe that would explain it. Yeah. I don't know how that works. Maybe they're just that. Maybe the Wii came out in 2016 in Korea.
Could be. Yeah.
How would I know? The Switch isn't even out there yet. I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there. Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. But anyway.
I like it. It's brought up again a bit towards the middle of the film, but like I like how they kind of connect the main character to the actual outbreak, and like because like those stocks that he says to dump all of, that was like the stock of the company that had that leak, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't even right.
So like I feel like I don't know. I'm just implying connections here, but like so they had a leak. Investors didn't like it, so they sold it. And then because they lost all that kind of funding, they couldn't fix the leak properly, or they couldn't do some shit like that. So like when his like an analyst or whatever calls him, is this our fault? It kind of is their fault, but he has to say no. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I quite like that if that's the thread. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, it must be. Yeah, because I completely forgot about that analyst character. Totally. Yeah. That's really weird. What was he actually doing at the start of the film? Like when he was on the street? He was in like the hazmat suit and he was like letting people into...
Oh no, that wasn't the same character. That was a different person.
That wasn't him?
No.
Oh shit.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
No, that makes sense. It's like, why the hell else is this funds manager doing traffic control? Yeah, no, that makes way more sense now. But yeah. That zombie deer was scary. I'll give them that.
I thought it looked quite good though. I think.
Yeah. No. Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think the zombie animals sometimes look a bit dodgy, but I thought it actually looked.
Army of the Dead. Yeah.
I had to look at the names attached to the English project.
Oh yeah.
The writer is Gary Doberman, who wrote for Annabelle, It, The Nun type stuff. So he's done
horror stuff. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, horror and zombie is kind of in the same thing.
Yeah.
The director is Timo Tjahjanto, who I'm not that hopeful for, because looking at his stuff, it's a little bit less. It's like a few VHS segments and kind of like schlocky B horror films. So that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it'll be his masterpiece.
Yeah, it could be.
His magnum opus, as they say. Yeah, who knows? All right, well, we can get into our final verdicts of Train to Busan.
Train to Pussy. as Liam called it.
Did he?
Yeah, did you just see in the chat where you put?
Oh no, I did see that. Yeah, Jaden, what are you giving it?
I was kind of bouncing around between a 7 and 8. I think I will give it an 8. I think it definitely deserves it amongst kind of the genre films. I think if we were to look at it as an actual film as a whole, perhaps a 7. But as a film in the zombie genre, an 8.
Sure. Yeah. I'll give it a 7. I thought it was a very, very simple, very effective film that sort of went above and beyond really what it needed to achieve for the genre it's in. So yeah, no, I thought it was solid. I would recommend it overall. We've got a hell of a news chat, and we're just we'll try our best here, Jane. I think the Oscar nominations are probably the most substantial thing.
Yeah,
I would say. Yeah. So they've all come out now. Everyone knows what's been nominated for the Academy Awards for 2022. I don't know if I need to read all this shit out, but I will just say that the Best Picture nominees are Nightmare Alley, Don't Look Up, June, Drive My Car, Belfast, Licorice Pizza, The Power of the Dog. Holy shit, there's actually a lot. West Side Story, King Richard, and Coda. That's a lot of movies. Are there normally that many? How many is that? It's
I
like
think
10.
10. Yeah, I think 10 movies is what it's become.
Right.
I think they've upped it recently.
Okay. That's a lot of films. And then what are we going on here for Best Actor? We got Andrew Garfield, Benedict Cumberbatch, Javier Bardem, Denzel, Will Smith. I mean, that's a pretty stacked lineup right there. That's
Yeah,
stacked.
Andy will be getting my vote. That I can definitely cast.
Yeah. Who would I go for at it? I haven't seen
I haven't seen any other four. I don't think so.
I haven't seen Being the Ricardos, so I mean Javier Bardem's probably great.
Wait, you've seen King Richard?
Yes, I saw it
really?
last night. Yeah.
What's it on? Disney Plus, isn't it?
No, I went into the
No?
cinema. I saw it in the theater. Will Smith was very good. Benedict Cumberbatch is very good. Yeah. Oh no, that's a stat lineup. There's a lot of great choices there. That's a hard one. Best actress. I see. Yeah, this is where I fail in best actress. I've not even heard of some of these films. Jessica Chastain in The Eyes of Tammy Faye. I don't know what that is.
I think she's a TV. Tammy Faye was like a TV. What are they called?
Presenter?
No, the crystal ball people. What are they called?
Oh shit. Yeah, everyone knows what you mean.
Yeah, I think Tammy Faye was one of those, and like she was like a kind of infamous one. I think it's about like a scam or some shit like that. I don't know.
Interesting. Have you heard of Olivia Colman in The Lost Daughter or Penelope Cruz in Parallel Mothers?
The Lost Daughter came to Netflix pretty late last year.
Oh, okay.
I think it's also got Dakota Johnson in it.
Oh, okay.
It was one that I was looking forward to, but then like it came out and reviews weren't the greatest, and it wasn't something I was willing to take 2 hours and 16 minutes, something like that, on something that I might not enjoy because it's kind of a generic product.
Sure. Okay.
And what was the other one? Parallel. I haven't seen it, but it's on my watch list.
Okay. Yeah, and then Kristen Stewart as Spencer. Yeah, I need to see that. So, okay. What other categories are there?
When's the actual awards?
That's an excellent question. It says here March 27th, 2022.
All right, I'm trying to bang out as much of that as I can.
That's a little. You got a month and a half.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I think the animated feature category is surprising in the fact that Disney has 3 entries there. I haven't seen Encanto yet, but Luca and Ray and the Last Dragon. Like, do we really not have any better animated films last year? Man,
but I don't know what Flea is. That's the only one I haven't seen.
It's like a half documentary product. It is an animated documentary about this immigrant fleeing a conflict, and it's got music from Low Roll, so I'm keen for that.
Oh shit! You just got me hooked. Cool. Okay. I mean, I loved Encanto, so that'd be my choice for sure of those. Interesting. Okay. I sort of skimmed on Best Picture accidentally. Is there?
Well, Don't Look Up surprised me as a Best Picture nominee.
A little bit. Yeah. Yes and no. Yeah. I don't know. I can sort of see why, like, it's sort of a shoe-in for the Academy to at least nominate it, Like, don't they love Leo and Adam McKay? I feel like they do.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I feel like Vice got nominated. I don't know. Yeah.
Dune got nommed, didn't it?
Yeah.
It won't win. I think it'll just be the kind of throwing, kind of like the way that Dunkirk got thrown in, all the way, like, something of that kind of caliber gets thrown into the mix, but it won't win.
Yeah, no, I agree.
What else was it? Coda might. I don't think that'll win. I think it's probably too.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know. Probably beat Power of the Dog. They'll probably just give her a sweep and just give her director, win, actors.
Yeah, I mean, one thing about the Academy Awards I find interesting is that I find it, at least since I've started paying attention to it, quite unpredictable. Like, you never really know until they say the name. Like, there's often quite surprising results. So I do enjoy that about it.
Well, I think so. In the Academy, it's all creatives, right? It's not critics; it's actual creatives. Yeah.
Yeah. Because then there's the critics. They're different awards. Yeah.
Yeah, because and I think that's where a lot of it comes from. Because I think a lot of the pundits are critics and not creators, and I just think it's a different line of thinking quite often.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. That more than likely does influence it. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think, yeah. Oh, no, I'm with you. Don't Look Up in June, and no, I don't see them winning. Pretty much, and no, I don't see Coda winning either. Pretty much anything else is sort of on the table here. There's a lot. I think Power of the Dog is so up their alley. I feel I can see that totally winning. I don't want to call it Oscar bait because it is a good film. Like, it's a very quality film. Like, I don't want to. That sounds degrading to call it Oscar bait, but it sort of is Oscar bait in terms of it just being like the epitome of what a Best Picture winner sort of is associated with.
Yeah. Like, look, I'm saying this as someone that hasn't watched 8 out of these 10 movies yet.
Yeah.
But, like, I can't imagine Nightmare Alley winning. I can't imagine Belfast winning. I can't imagine Drive My Car winning either.
I want to see that, yeah. I don't know. What about Nightmare Alley? Like, were the reviews positive for that?
I haven't looked at anything about it because I don't want to tarnish kind of my experience.
Neither.
But, like, would they give it to you? I don't know.
They gave it to Shape of Water.
I mean, it seems a bit more genre than what Shape of Water was, but this is once again as someone I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But I can't imagine. I don't know.
I feel like they love a bit of Del Toro. I don't know.
From this list, it feels to me, Power of the Dog definitely looks like the best one to win.
I agree. Yeah, I do. But yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, I totally agree with that. But then I feel like, you know, you can't ever doubt Spielberg with this kind of film, and you can't ever doubt Del Toro either. I don't know. But then there's also like the wild card of Drive My Car. Like, I don't know. They gave it to Parasite. So it's just, I don't know. It's weird. There's like there's no real consistent logic in terms of like what can win and what not, because they've given it to a foreign film. They've given it to a mediocre Del Toro film. So it's like, well, you know, so it's like, so it's like this can go in any direction. I'm really curious about it. Of the ones you haven't seen, is there one that you're really most keen to?
Like, honestly, all of them. Like, not sorry. So, like, the ones that I'm not keen on seeing, rather, I'll say that is King Richard and Power of the Dog. Everything else I'm keen on watching.
Yeah, I will. No, I don't think King Richard will win either. To be clear, Will Smith's very good. I really enjoyed him, but I don't see that winning.
I just don't give a shit about tennis or the Williams. Like,
yeah, nah, that's totally fair. And to be fair, like I didn't either, and I still sort of don't, but I still liked it. So yeah, I don't know. I totally get that.
And what about Licorice Pizza? We haven't mentioned that, and you've seen that.
Yeah, I enjoyed Licorice Pizza. It's not up there for me of the films I've seen here.
It doesn't seem like a kind of Paul Thomas Anderson film that would kind of win, you know?
No, like yeah. I don't know. Do you see something like? It's more in the vein of like a Punch Drunk than anything.
Yeah, you know, you kind of got two Paul Thomas Anderson films. You got the Punch Drunk Licorice Pizza, and then you got like the Master Phantom Thread. There Will Be Blood type, you know?
Right. Yes, I totally get that. Yeah, and I feel like the latter side of his filmography are the Best Picture winners. You know, that's not to take anything away from Licorice Pizza. Yeah, I don't know, but maybe people. I don't really know what the critical response was. Maybe people loved it. I don't know. A lot of interesting choices, but we'll have to wait and see. I'd like to say I'll be watching the Academy Awards that day, but if it's anything like last year, I'll just walk upstairs and they'll be reading the final award, and I'll be like, "Oh, okay, shit, I didn't know this was happening." That's probably what'll happen. Well, we got to get moving. God damn, we got a Jurassic World Dominion trailer. You watched it, Jaden? What did you think?
I thought it was a quite good trailer. You know, I'm a big fan of the series. You know, all of the good entries and the shit entries.
Okay, yeah.
And this looks really cool. You know, it's a world with dinosaurs reintroduced into the mainstream. Have you seen? Actually, that kind of spoils what fucking.
I knew that was the whole thing about that one. Yeah.
So we've got dinosaurs just hanging around, and it's going to be cool to see how it happens. They're bringing the original cast back. Like they've brought like kind of people back in like small bits. Like Jeff Goldblum has a little bit of a thing in second one, but now Laura Dern and Harris, Sam. No,
Sam
no,
Neill,
Sam
don't
Neill.
fail
Fuck
the
yeah,
world.
damn. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
back. Yeah, I don't know. It looks nice.
Yeah, I'm not big into these movies at all. I've seen Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, and that's it. I think there's like, is there 3 Jurassic Parks?
Yeah,
So I've seen 2 of the, what will soon be 6, I guess.
yeah. Look, if the first one doesn't work for you, I don't think any of them will work for you.
I like the first one.
Oh,
I just sort of never, I don't know, I never loved it, and I never sort of got around to any of the others. But I like Jurassic Park, and I like Jurassic World too. I sort of remember liking that film. I don't know. So maybe this is more up my alley. I just need to get into it. Maybe I should do a full watch through prior. You know, maybe that's what I need. But like, it was one of those things where I haven't got any like attachment to this. But when Sam Neill and Laura Dern show up and they're like the music, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like I'm not that invested, but I'm like, that's neat. Like I can recognize like that's pretty cool. I'm sure people are freaking out over that stuff. Sam Neill looks like he hasn't. I don't want to say like he hasn't aged today. That's not true, but he looks great. I'll just say that he looks great. I love his beard. I love it. So yeah, I mean, do people like these new characters? Like, do people like Chris Pratt and these new cast, or are we just like stoked to see these other people back?
I honestly don't know what people's opinions on the characters are. I know like the general perception on the entire product is kind of mid to below mid.
Okay.
But as like what they actually think about Pratt and Bryce and Dallas, I don't know.
What do you think of them?
Yeah, I think they're good. You know, I think they're just
okay.
You know, they're there. They're no original cast, but you know, I think Chris Pratt's Chris Pratt and Bryce is Bryce, and it's good.
Sure. Yeah, I get that. Okay, well that movie's coming out in the middle of the year, I think, right? Like June or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It'll be a summer film. Summer over there.
Summer in quotes, yeah, exactly. So yeah, enjoy that. Maybe I'll need to get prepared for that one. We had the first images released for Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. And we've got to be, I mean, my main thing with this was they were cool. I'm cool that we're seeing more. I'm excited about it, but we've got to be close to a trailer now, surely. They're starting to get ramped up with their marketing, I think. We got the posters, we got the weird title reveal. Like, I feel like every week there's something new for this now, and I feel like it has to be building to a trailer soon. But regardless of that, did you have any particular thoughts on the images?
They look nice. I don't know. They look like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
you know, they have that kind of soft light to them and the kind of ever-present nature kind of element. You know.
Yeah.
I think kind of this shot here is rather cool and interesting.
Yeah, that was my favorite too. They look like Lord of the Rings. That's like the best way to sum it up.
Yeah.
And like, what more could you want? Well, I mean, to be fair, like those images, I was quite impressed. Again, we'll need to see it in motion, but I was quite impressed with the very brief glimpse we get at the costumes and just the sets and not the sets, you know, like the locations they're shooting in New Zealand before they moved, because this season is still New Zealand. So yeah, I quite like the armor she's wearing looks dope, and I hope that good signs early on, but I hope that we continue to see the budget being put to really strong use, you know. Because there's no excuse, dude. That budget is absurd.
Was that a main like? Do we know like how important these characters are that we see in these images, or?
Yeah, so they said upon releasing the images, they said there are 22 characters, as you know, 22 like main characters. You know what I mean? So I feel like in terms of the way they're going to structure the stories, it's going to be sort of Game of Thrones like in terms of having different characters doing different things across Middle Earth, you know, which is cool because there were an absurd amount of character posters when they released those. I don't know who any of the characters are, but there was like shitloads of them, and I was like, Jesus, is this how many like main characters this show has? But yeah, I don't know who the main character is. If there even is one, there might not be, but there was one of the photos they released was of Elrond and Galadriel talking to each other, like they're whoever's meant to be playing there.
Yeah, right.
Of course, not Hugo Weaving or Kate Blanchett because this is 2,000 years ago. But also, should they not just look the same? I don't know. So that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know it's cool that there are some characters that are recognizable to me as a casual fan. I'm sure hardcore Tolkien people probably know every single character announced, like with their weird name that, oh shit, they were in the Silmarillion or whatever it's called.
That dude just looks like Aragorn.
He straight up does, dude. When I saw that one, I was like, wait, is that just de-aged Viggo Mortensen? Yeah. But no. So yeah, I don't know. It's cool. I'm hopeful, and I've got no doubt a trailer's coming soon. So I'm just looking forward to that at this point, I think. We had, of course, the Obi-Wan poster, Jaden. And my God, it was a good poster. There's not much to say, but this thing's ramping up. I'm excited. We got the May 25th release date. When we heard it was going to be May, it was like, oh, so it's going to be May 4th, and then it wasn't May 4th. So it's like, that's weird. But May 25th, of course, is still significant in that it is the 45-year anniversary this year of A New Hope's release date on the date. So there is significance to the 25th. So that's still good. Did you have any takeaways from the poster? I liked just seeing Ewan in an outfit. I'm like, I'm in. That's all I need.
It's more Tatooine though, which is the issue.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah, if they spend time on like flashbacks or whatever, however they're going to tell the story, maybe it'd be alright. But hopefully, it's not too much sand. It's ironic how that's become an actual like complaint of the series.
Like genuinely, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, we know for sure he leaves the planet. He leaves Tatooine. They in the little. The only thing we've had so far is that, I don't know if you've seen that sizzle reel with the concept art and stuff, where Deborah Chow and Ewan are talking about it. She's like, yeah, so our adventure starts on Tatooine and then he leaves. Like, she straight up just said that. So I was like, okay. The other interesting thing, I mean, I'm really interested. I'm in a very, of course I'm interested. I'm in a very optimistic place with this at the moment, in that we'll see how the first footage looks, but a single director, 6 episodes, they're being very clear in the poster and the marketing that is a limited series, in terms of being just a 6-part film sort of deal. So having a single director is also really important to me. So they're doing all the right things right now, but we'll just have to wait and see. Ewan made the comment, I don't know if you saw this, he had the quote where he was, hyping it up and stuff, and he confirmed that he has scenes with Hayden as Anakin. He's just like, I don't know. He was like, I don't think it's a secret at this point, but yeah, I got to play alongside Hayden as Anakin Skywalker again. And I was just like, okay, so you just confirmed there's flashbacks. Thanks, Ewan. Thanks for confirming that. So we know Hayden's going to be Vader, but
yeah,
we now know. And it makes perfect sense. Why else would you hire Hayden if you're not going to see his face? So.
What character do you think they'll reintroduce from animated series?
Oh, because there always has to be one?
Yeah. Is this where we get to see a little bit of Ezra?
God, I hope not. No, that wouldn't make any sense. No, Ezra's like 8. Man, I really don't want any. I don't want any. No, I really don't.
I want this live action Rex or something.
No, I don't want that, man. I don't. Like, not in this. I really, and I think the fandom's on a pretty similar level with this needs to be done right. Yeah. And I think in that it needs to be, like, we have the cast list already, and there's a substantial amount of notable people in it. And I just think this has to be at its heart an Obi-Wan story. Like, it's fine for Mandalorian and Boba Fett to like do its own, like, let's introduce all the animated characters and go crazy with the lore and whatever, and do fan service to the next degree. But this needs to be, and I'm not saying this isn't going to have fan service, but this needs to be a personal journey for Obi-Wan that doesn't distract with these other elements thrown in there. Like, we don't. That's my feeling towards it anyway.
Whatever happened to Asajj Ventress? Did she cock it, or did she? Oh,
she cocked it.
Oh, did she? Okay, I can't remember.
She cocked it in a book.
Yeah.
I
was gonna say, because like that, they always had like a little bit of a thing that you could tie into Obi-Wan.
Yeah, that's true. That'd be kind of neat. She's dead at this point. I know people are throwing it. Like, people love throwing out things. Like, people are throwing out, like, get Ahsoka in there, get Rosario Dawson in there, get bloody what's his face, goddamn Darth Maul in there. you know? And it's
I
like,
don't think you don't show
no,
Darth Maul because of his conclusion with Rebels.
absolutely.
I don't
Yeah.
think you show Ahsoka either because then I think it also fucks with Rebels a bit.
Yes. Do those things definitely, I agree, mess with Rebels, but even if they wanted to have liberties with that, like, I don't think those things will really service the story, like, what's
Mm,
Darth Maul going to do that's of any significance to this? I don't. But they had their moment,
yeah.
Same goes for Ahsoka. It's like, if she knew Obi-Wan was out there, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to a trailer, and I'll probably talk about it for 2 hours. I'll just do an episode on the show about the trailer. I'll just sit here by myself and do it. Blade Runner 2099 is an Amazon sequel series to 2049. It is live action. Ridley Scott is producing. I mean, this is pretty exciting,
and
right?
maybe directing.
Maybe directing, yeah, to our dismay. My God, he'll probably it might be a Raised by Wolves situation where he didn't need to direct like 1 or 2 episodes. I think so.
Yeah.
Probably be something like that, which is fine, I guess. So, I mean, I'm interested. I'm sort of concerned about what the budget would feel like. I don't.
Another $100 million show.
Yeah, Amazon just forking out. I just don't. From this, I just can't expect anything that feels nearly as amazing and cinematic as 2049 at all. Like, I feel like I just need to get my expectations in check there, because I feel like at the end of the day, it's going to feel not great to look at. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm being a bit pessimistic, but these Amazon shows haven't done a lot of justice to things like the Wheel of Time and stuff. I don't think I've really seen any streaming show, like exclusive streaming show, that sort of does justice to a fantasy or sci-fi setting completely.
The Witcher? No?
No, not completely. Like, I like The Witcher, but it definitely shows its cracks.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think Game of Thrones does it, but that's an HBO show, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, are you excited? Were you checking it? I mean, it's hard to be excited, but
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be an interesting thing. Like, I love Philip K. Dick's original work. I love what Denis produced out of it as well. I think while they both have while Blade Runner and 2049 have like a pattern a visual pattern that comes through, there's no doubt that 2049 establishes its own kind of aesthetic and look, and I hope that's what Ridley pursues and not something more akin to his original version.
yeah.
And I hope kind of story-wise, I actually don't know where I want the story to go. I wouldn't want another kind of like replicant questioning kind of
right
type thing.
Right.
But I would like to see, or maybe I would. I don't know, because I really like in sci-fi they often pose the God question in the book, and it's in I think even in the movies they talk a bit about it. So maybe I would like to see it, but just done well.
Yeah.
Not done with Ridley. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, just done interestingly. Like, yeah, I think that's fair. Like, at the end of the day, that question probably is inherent to Blade Runner in some way. Like, I don't know if you can avoid it, but yeah, I don't know. I'm curious. We'll see where it goes. We probably won't see it for another 2 years anyway. So,
no, yeah.
The Cuphead show trailer. This thing drops in very soon. I think, like in weeks, which sort of snuck up on me. But I didn't see the trailer. I do like Cuphead, but what do you think of the trailer? Like, are they voiced like the characters?
Yeah, they're voiced.
Cool. Okay.
I don't know who the cast is, but I think it follows the plot of the games because you see a bit of the devil and you see like Cuphead's soul get sucked out, but then given back to him, whatever. I'm keen. It looks like a fun time. I don't know what the target audience is. I hope it's
right,
like a bit more mature. I don't want full on adult animation type thing, but I don't want this targeted to actual kids like the art style is. But yeah, it looks like fun. I'll definitely watch it.
Yeah, I'll probably check it out. I assume they're going to be fairly short episodes, and yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, the style and the aesthetic and just personality of Cuphead is just so incredible by itself that it does so much to carry it. So that's what'll draw me in. But then I'll see, if the story's actually cool. I don't know. Probably. We'll see.
Mm.
God damn, that was a lot. Should we just get into highlights?
Yeah, I reckon we do.
Let's do it. What have you been watching?
Well, you see, I want to talk about Boba Fett, but I feel like I should probably address the Fast and Furious situation, shouldn't I?
You should address the Fast and Furious, and then I'll use Boba Fett.
Yeah. So, 10 Fast and Furious films in like 7 days. That was that was quite the project.
Yeah, man.
I think I'd only ever seen the first one, and I think it was time to get around to the series. There's no doubting its importance in modern pop culture. So I thought might as well fucking just bite the bullet and get into it. And it's fine. It's good. There's a lot of good. There's a lot of bad, but there's also just a shit ton of completely average. And it's kind of it's a series of films about people driving cars until it's about them saving the world.
It's about family.
It's not about family, man. I guess it is. I don't know. They keep on finding ways to just make it bigger and bigger and crazier, and I think there's a service to applaud them for that. But like, I'd also love them to see. I'd love to see them nail the next one the way like Mission Impossible nailed Fallout. But obviously, that would not be in the spirit of the franchise. It would be it'd require a lot of grounding and kind of reconsolidation of their work. I don't know. Like looking at the series, I think one's probably the strongest one, just that it tells the easiest story, I guess. The story that's actually fast and furious, and because the fast bit kind of goes out the window later on with
with what, bloated run times or?
No, they just abandoned racing completely, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
So Too Fast, Too Furious is a lot of fun. They introduce Tyrese Gibson's character, who then appears in later episodes, and
right.
He's a really great character, I guess. Not great, but he's a good type to have around. Tokyo Drift is awesome. I feel like Tokyo Drift's biggest problem is the fact that it's a Fast and Furious film. Had it not had that label, I think it would have been received better, because a lot of people criticize it for interrupting the flow of the series and kind of taking the series away from where it was. So had it been like a Hobbs and Shaw situation where it'd be like, Fast and Furious presents this, and then they can tie it in that way, I think it would have been, a little bit better. But Tokyo Drift's really cool. Probably has the best music of the franchise. 4. The
reboot, right?
Yeah, just Fast and Furious. A soft reboot. It's it was okay. It's kind of where it starts getting, it's where it starts upping the notches more and more.
Right.
5 is where is kind of like the big step for the series, where it's the most well received, I'm pretty sure. And we get The Rock, who surprisingly works really well. I was actually shocked as to how much I enjoyed Dwayne Johnson as his character in this franchise. It's not really too different to anything he plays in like Central Intelligence or Jumanji or fucking Jungle Cruise, Rampage, San Andreas, all that shit.
Every movie he's ever been in.
He is still this strongman specialist agent type thing. But for some reason, I think it just works with his character. I just think it works in Fast and Furious really well. Fast 6 is probably my least favorite entry. It's still an okay film to watch, but I think it was the one that I was most bored in. Fast 7 is a very interesting one. It obviously has the biggest sympathy bait of all time with the departure of Paul Walker. But it's still not that great of an entry in the series. I was devastated when I was watching it that JBL stole the only emotionally impactful moment from me because the headphones decided to cut out.
Man.
Yeah, I it's credit to them for finishing the film and finishing it in the way they did. I think it's good that they didn't kill the character off in universe, because that would have been it wouldn't have felt right. I think having him just kind of sidelined is the best way to go about it. Yeah. Fast 8 was what happened in Fast 8?
The Fate of the Furious.
Yeah.
What happened?
Fast 8, oh yeah, it's where there's like some hacker stuff, and like, it's like where the world's really at stake for the first time, where like he can hack into everything and whatever. There's a really good bit with Jason Statham and the baby that's like saves the movie. It's such a great bit. Fast 9, I was actually shocked at how much I liked. They do a great bit with filling in the past for Dominic Toretto, Vin Diesel's character. They have like, it opens with a flashback and it comes back to that kind of day frequently, and it does a great bit in filling out that lore. But then there's also Cardi B in it, which sucks ass. But yeah. Oh, and Hobbs and Shaw as well. I skipped Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh my god, there's so many.
Hobbs and Shaw is a lot of fun. I think it's a long film. It could have been a great 90-minute action thing, I guess. But I think it's it's still pretty good. Relatively.
Yeah.
I'm not saying indulge yourself in these 10 films, but if you don't want to, because it's not going to do anything great, but like, they are serviceable action films, and they do keep you entertained most of the way, where there's definite lulls, but yeah.
Wow, what a rundown. I'm jealous, because what you've done here with watching all of them back to back, I'm totally with you where you were a week ago, because I've never seen any of these films but the first one, and I've really wanted to. So many times I've been so close to just committing and going, like, let's do it, and it's just never happened yet for me. But so I'm really curious about it. I just, the thing with my perception of the franchise is, are you laughing with it or at it? That's like the main question I keep asking myself when I hear, because people love how goofy it is and people love so many different aspects of it. Some people seem to actually genuinely think it's good. So I just don't really know, what to expect in that sense.
I think I laugh with it, and that's why.
Okay.
That's why I don't see it to the highest degree. If I was laughing at it, I think I'd honestly perceive them better. But because I laugh along with it, yeah. Is why they kind of bounce between 5s and 7s and not, 8s or, even lower, like 3s and 4s and whatnot, Yeah,
it doesn't feel like it like consistently understands what it's doing.
Yeah, like especially later in the series, like characters they're like, look at this crazy shit we've done, we're not hurt and all this stuff, and they're obviously they're doing a bit of that stuff, but like
that's cool.
I think it still works, and yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, I'll over the next 7 days I'll watch them all too, and I'll do the same rundown next week.
Well, the first 7 are on Stan. They were added recently on, so that was easily accessible. I think cool. 8, 9, and Hobbs you can watch on Foxtel or something.
Was Idris Elba fun in Hobbs?
Honestly, no. He was probably like my least favorite part of Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, I love Idris, but like
I always remember that part from the trailer. I've seen all the trailers for these movies. That's like what I know. And there's that part in the trailer where he's like, "I'm Black Superman," and I'm like, "That's cool."
Well, like it was kind of cut out of context in the trailer, because like I remember that bit from the trailer as well, and like it looks a lot more like like a high octane like when he's saying it, but like if I remember, like in the movie, it's just like like a little bit like where he's like talking to himself almost. I think. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I think if I remember.
I think that's just a funny line. To be
Yeah.
honest. All right, that was great. But now we've actually got to get into the real convo, and we've got to talk about the Book of Boba Fett, Jaden. We've been texting about it, but I don't know. Where are you at overall? Like, what would you give it out of 10? The whole thing now that it's over,
like a 6, maybe a good 6. No, I don't know. A good 5 a week 6.
Right.
I just think it's way too inconsistent. And I just think that it's largely uninteresting. I think the Mandalorian bits are the best bits we get, but this isn't a show about the Mandalorian. This is meant to be the Book of Boba Fett. So like,
yeah, I think people are trying to. I think collectively over the last few weeks, I've witnessed a fandom try and wrap their head around what this show is. And I've seen so many people, like, try and make the justification of, and I mean, it's a valid one, I guess, but of like, well, it's not really the Book of Boba Fett. It's just Mandalorian season 2.5. It's just a Star Wars show. It's just if you treat it as just Star Wars content, then it's great. And it's like, yeah, but to me, this sort of, more than anything I've ever seen, just exemplifies how important the title of a show is. You know what I mean? Where it's like, yeah, okay, you can make all these excuses all you want. They called it the Book of Boba Fett. That's what it's called. That's the name of it. You know what I mean? They could have named it whatever they want. And
And Boba Fett's absent for like 2 episodes.
and Boba Fett sucks in this show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, big time. Yeah.
Dude. And I was preaching prior to this show that I was a big believer in, people love Boba Fett because of his design and he's like a cool ancillary character in the universe. But this show's going to be finally the thing that makes everyone, actually appreciate him as a character for the first time. God, no, dude. Absolutely not. There is no. This made me never want to see Boba Fett again. Straight up. Like, I've got no interest. And God bless Temuera Morrison. I do like him. I don't think any of this is his fault by any means, but like, it's just not compelling at all. They do nothing with this character to make it even remotely compelling. And the biggest criticism of it is just, it's what everyone's saying and what you've already said here. It's just the structure and the pacing of the story and how uninteresting it is. I just can't believe some of these choices that they made, where I feel like they're trying and failing so hard at telling this journey of Boba Fett becoming like, I don't know. It's even hard to describe. Right. Like, it's hard to describe because they do such a bad job at it. Like, they're trying to tell a story of him, like, finding his tribe, finding his family. And there are moments that are cool. Like, the moment that episode 2 is my favorite Boba Fett-centric episode. I like the ending of episode 2 just as a scene in terms of, like, when he creates the staff. And then that's a cool scene completely by itself. And that sort of sums up the whole show. It has cool scenes completely by themselves. But then when you take that into the story that they're telling and the entire season in retrospect, it just feels so unearned and so random. Like, I feel like it's so obvious that if you want to tell this story about this guy who's, has a character transformation, that you at least show him being an asshole. You show him being a terrible... Like, I feel like the implication the show is trying to make is that this guy was once a terrible killing bounty hunter, and now he's become this. But it feels like he's just that from the start. Like, you know what I mean? There's no transformation at all. It's like the show's constantly trying to tell me that he's changed, but, like, there's nothing to show it at all. Like, it's just tell. Like, it's so bizarre. Like, he's just the nicest dude from the start of this show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird, and I don't even know what was up with, like, those flashbacks. Like with the flashbacks to Camino. I've got no idea what the point of those were at the end.
Oh, there was a flashback to Kano?
There were scenes in episodes 1, 2, and 3 where you get him, like, remembering Django and so memorable, Jaden. And I actually quite like them as scenes, like, as they're happening, because you get, like, young Boba Fett, Daniel Logan from Attack of the Clones, and he's, like, on Camino and he's, like, watching Django fly away. Do you remember these scenes at all?
I think I remember it briefly, but I didn't think it was any. I didn't. You say there's scenes in 1, 2, and 3, but I thought it was like maybe one scene while it was in, like, the backed up thing that he.
Yeah, they're there, but they cut to them 3 or 4 times. They do this.
Really? Jeez.
Yeah, but that's the weird thing about it, is that it's like they do it a little bit in episode 1, and it's like, oh, okay, we're getting a glimpse at his past as a child. And they do it more in episode 2 and more in episode 3. And you think, okay, this is going to build to something where they're going to finally like that, sort of like what Mandalorian season 1 did, where they finally then reveal the full flashback and what it's meant to mean. And they just never do. It's just so confusing. I'm like, so why did we do that? I don't know, man. I don't know. And just, I think the easiest way to summarize it is that the finale was just a big wet fart, It was just a big, like,
oh my God.
sigh.
probably the worst action in Star Wars I've seen.
Probably.
Just the worst characters in Star Wars I've seen are featured as well.
Dude.
The worst looking things I've seen in Star Wars.
Right? The Pikes look terrible. Oh, you can talk about the mods.
I was talking about the bikes.
Yeah, they're no good.
The Pikes aren't that bad, are they?
Oh, dude, when that one starts talking, the leader, terrible. Looks terrible.
That's fair too. I don't know. I think so. This was all shot on like the soundstage with like that digital screen thing that Disney's patented, right?
Yeah.
I think that hurts it. I think that hurts it so much.
Mm.
You know, I think build a set or two, have your characters feel like it's a lived-in place. Let them actually interact. You know.
I think a lot of the shootout stuff in the last episode was a set.
Really? Because that looks like shit, honestly. Like, especially the back. Like, it's some of it looks really bad.
Yeah, like, I don't know how I don't think it's that expensive of a set.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, certainly all the desert stuff and it's certainly a soundstage.
I really like that ring thing. I just realized we're talking like full spoilers.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we're just going to spoil the shit out of this. Yeah.
That ring thing that the Mandalorian goes to, that's like a half like city on.
The halo. Yeah.
That was pretty sick.
Yeah, I agree. I like that too.
I like that. Yeah.
That was just a great episode. I really enjoyed it thoroughly, and it was so surprising when it just happened. That we're just getting a Mandalorian episode, and the whole time I was watching it, I was like waiting for Boba Fett to come in, and this never happened. And I was like, that's great, but it's hard because it's one of those things where like episode 5 is awesome by itself. Episode 6 has awesome moments by itself, but it just doesn't build to anything that makes. We're talking about a television show, you know, and a television show needs to have scenes and characters and moments that build towards something that collectively work together to create something, and it just doesn't. You know what I mean? It's the sum of its parts don't work. It's weird. It's strange. It's actually one of the most bizarrely constructed shows I've ever seen in that sense, I think. But that's not to say it didn't have its moments, because I did also really like that whole extended sequence of Mandalorian on the Halo ring. And him using the Darksaber and stuff just never gets old. I love that.
I mean, it's like the Darksaber is like Sabine's path into the universe, right? Like she's going to come and challenge him for it, some shit, like surely. Oh,
I don't expect that personally.
No? Okay.
That could be interesting if they end up... I see them doing that later, maybe. That's interesting. I mean, Sabine's path into the universe, in my mind, is
Ahsoka,
the search for Ezra.
Finding Ezra, right? Yeah,
that's what I see it as, which is no doubt going to be what Ahsoka is about, the show. So that's going to be neat. How do you feel about episode 6 and specifically the Luke scenes and Ahsoka being there and all that?
I didn't like Luke.
Luke and the New Jedi Order is meant to start kind of represents like a reboot of the Jedi Order, you know? It's meant to be a better version of him. But it seems like he harps on it too. I mean, it's something they address in episode 7, you know, where Yoda just goes, burns the sacred text, and Luke's like, the sacred text and whatever. But like, you know, like he's teaching Grogu the very Puritan, very traditional way. Whereas I feel like that's not kind of what Luke felt like in the original trilogy. Like, obviously, he was always the good boy. He was always the perfect person. I mean, he was tempted by the dark side a bit, but like, I would have liked to see some kind of deviation in his character to more kind of, I don't know, Obi-Wan type of figure. But in this, he seems too good, or like, you know, too, I don't know, too Old Republic.
He seems to... I don't know if this is the opposite of what you're saying, or maybe an element of what you're saying, but he feels to me like too prequel Jedi. You know what I mean? In terms of like attachments and...
that's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean, rather.
It's weird. It's sort of in that way, because that's the story of the, you know, George's saga, is that Luke, his attachment or his love for Vader is what saves him, and that he goes against those lessons, right? And so it's just weird. It's sort of interesting that, like, I mean, not that it doesn't make any sense. Like, you know, in the 5 years past, he's trying to become a teacher, a mentor. Like, he would learn from the texts and he would sort of lose his way in that sense, I guess.
Yeah.
That's fine. And I guess that sort of does build to the sequels, like you're saying. So that's cool. There is consistency there. But that also makes me sort of surprised that people who don't like Last Jedi Luke like this, because it's actually clearly Last Jedi Luke.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know. It's kind of interesting.
Well, I was just say like a big thing that's kind of arisen is like the hypocrisy and like the kind of like of like the Jedi and how like in prequel era and like how they're actually not like like the Order is too strict on itself and like this could have been a great move away from it, but yeah, I mean it's just harping on the same point I guess, but the fans seem to have really embraced that idea as like prequel era Jedi stuff was it was
the right thing or whatever.
Yeah, but like I don't know. Yeah. Sorry.
It's no. I totally agree. It's weird. Like I think it's pretty clear by the story of George's saga is that he's critical of it. I think it's pretty obvious. So yeah, I don't know. And I know Dave Filoni's very aware of that. So I think that's what they're trying to do. But it's weird. What do you think of the CG
of Luke?
Yeah.
Yeah. I still think you should be like who plays is it actually Mark Hamill de-aged or like who do they have like a body and then just
they
put
have
face on it?
No, I've seen the photo of the guy. He's like a young dude who has Mark Hamill's facial structure.
Okay, right. Yeah, I mean looks great, like genuinely great.
Yeah.
I think. I'd love to see an actual actor take his place though. I'd love to see Sebastian Stan there.
Yeah.
Or
I
like,
would have loved that.
Not necessarily him himself, but I would like to see an actor take it on rather than just CGIing a face on.
I agree. Yeah. But it's just hard now because they've committed to it. Like they committed to, the second they did it in the season 2 finale, it was over. Like they can't go back on it now. You know what I mean? That was their chance to do something like that. Like if that was the season 2 finale and Sebastian Stan was under the hood, I would have loved that. But they still can't. They can't really go back on it now. So
no.
But I will say I was very impressed by the CG. I think it's by far the best it's ever looked. Like it actually looks. I don't know if you saw. They actually because you know how there's YouTube videos of like people that improve the scene.
Yeah.
Like that they actually hired one of the YouTubers that did that. And if you compare like Luke in Book of Boba Fett versus season 2, he looks significantly better. Like a year, and it's only been a year.
Yeah,
and I think that's pretty impressive. I think it's really good. Like the main thing for me, like there were definitely little moments that don't look perfect. Obviously, I think far and away it was very impressive. And to me, it's still the voice that's sort of the hardest part because it's completely digital. It's just sort of sometimes doesn't carry emotion in the way that it should.
Yeah, 100%.
But it absolutely sounds like Mark Hamill. There's no doubt because
No.
it's obviously digitally created to sound like him. That's where I think the voice struggles a little bit sometimes, but I was surprised to see Ahsoka pop up for sure. I was pleasantly surprised.
I don't like that a certain blue person showed up and just cocked it.
Right. That was actually one of my biggest issues with the show overall. And did you like his design, by the way?
Yeah. I mean, like, it's obviously not 100% accurate to Clone Wars, but you got to do what you got to do to bring this character live action. But I thought they did fine.
Yeah, I agree. I did like it. Yeah, it can look weird if you're like directly comparing them, but I've seen a lot of people make the point, and it's a great point that like Christopher Lee looks nothing like Dooku in Clone Wars. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, true.
So that I'd never thought of that. And the second I saw someone say that, I'm like, shit, you got a point. The thing with Cad Bane, I love Cad Bane. Everyone knows. I really enjoyed seeing him here. In that moment in episode 6 when he walks through the desert, I was freaking the fuck out because I'm like, no. And it was awesome. But the whole issue with it was, and I don't mind him dying either. I don't mind that. But why wasn't he introduced in episode 2 or 3? Why was it episode 6 that they decided to introduce the actual only compelling villain in this entire show? It was strange. Like the whole time, episodes 1 through 4 did such a bad job of building any tension with its villains. Like the whole time, they're just like, oh, the Pikes are here and the Pikes suck. And we just never see them. They just like keep telling us that the Pikes suck. I'm like, dude, I don't give a flying fuck about the Pikes at all, And that's one thing that any show needs to make a compelling villain or make me at least care about the conflict coming. And they did not at all. until episode 6, and it's like, oh, Cad Bane's involved. That's cool. Really could have used that in episode 2. And if you think about it, there's no real reason they couldn't have just sort of restructured and introduced him earlier, and then that would have been way more interesting in episodes 3 and 4 when we're getting those Boba scenes that are boring as all shit. Knowing that Cad Bane's involved and you have some scenes with him, it's like, oh shit, I'm actually invested now. You know, it took far too long to get there, in my opinion. But did you have an issue with him dying full stop, though?
I mean, I wouldn't have had they used him better. It just didn't feel like the Cad Bane of Clone Wars. You know, I know it's been 30 years or whatever, but like, he's a fucking alien. Like,
he's an old man, dude.
Just say he's fine. He's an alien. I mean, like, I would have loved to have seen him, like, you know, like full, like, you know, like at his glory days type of thing.
Yeah.
And it just feels like kind of underused, I guess.
Right, exactly. No, I agree with that. And again, like, if they'd introduced him earlier, but yeah. I don't mind him dying at this point in the timeline because there's still, I mean, he's still such a big factor in literally any other story before that point, you know? Like, he can pop up anywhere still, and that's still exciting.
I would have loved to see him kind of rocking his shit post-Empire, and then, like, Luke has to deal with him a bit, you know, type of thing.
That would have been
like,
cool. And I guess it's still possible. Like, if
yeah,
they wanted to.
There's still, like, what, like a 4 or 5 year period that they can do it, but, like,
yeah, that'd be really cool. And we know, of course, he'll probably pop up in Bad Batch more, and you know, it's one of those things where, like, Star Wars, the way it is, like, it's so weird to think that Obi-Wan Kenobi died in 1977. And think about how much Obi-Wan stories we've had since. You know what I mean? So it's like anyone can die at any point, and we can jump around and do whatever. The one thing I don't want is for him to be resurrected or something. I don't want that. I hate that shit.
Yeah. Well, at the end, when they were teasing, like, the Bacta tank, I thought that was going to be him in there, but then it's just fucking Cobb Vanth. I was like, oh.
And I was like, I didn't think he was dead in the first place.
I was like, what is the... Who is this person that they feel is so significant all of a sudden? Like, I really... I don't think, like...
Yeah.
You know, like, what are they trying to push him for? I don't think he's anything great, you know?
I think they're trying to get by on that people like Timothy Olyphant, which, to be fair, I do. But... Because he's a pretty significant actor, but, like, at the same time, I agree. Like, from what we've seen of him, he's cool. I like him, but did you think when he was shot in episode 6, did you think he was dead anyway?
No.
Exactly. So it's like, what's the point? It was such a weird. I didn't understand it. Like, I had to pause the scene, and I'm like, oh, that is Cobb. So
what? Because I was trying to look, and I was like. And, like, as it got close, I was like, who is this character? I rewind it, and I was like,
I was the exact same.
Yeah.
It was just so bizarre where, like, why is your reveal something that we all just thought anyway? Yeah. It was bizarre. But, yeah, I don't know. And I know we texted about the whole ending with where Mando and Grogu are now, where it's just like, it's just a shrug, isn't it? That's all it is. Yeah. It's just like, and I really liked episode 5. Like, it felt like that episode was so great, in my opinion, because it felt like the next chapter, like these characters have evolved. You know what I mean? Like we're seeing Mando have to deal with not having him anymore and missing him, and, like, he has to get a new ship, and, like, things are changing for these characters and evolving for them. And that's what I liked. And I liked Grogu training with Luke too. Like, it's compelling development. And then we're just like, oh no, just go back to what people like. People like them together. It's like, oh Jesus.
I feel like they've shot themselves in the foot a bit with the fact that Grogu is, like, 50 and still a child, because I feel like that novelty is going to wear off soon as he needs to be developed as a character more.
Yeah.
Like, obviously they're doing their little bit, and, you know, we're seeing him become a bit more in tune to the Force, but, like, we need to see some actual, like, we need to see physical growth.
Yes. Kind of, no, totally.
Soon to actually, like, justify, you know, their relationship, kind of keep on being interesting.
Absolutely. Yeah. Not that I want him to be like a teenager, like, with weird legs and shit, but, like, well, yeah, we have to, it's something where I understand the balance of they want to hold on to the adorable, like, compelling, what makes him cute and cool and likable. But at the same time, yeah, we need to start moving a little bit, because is he going to be, like, hanging around in the sequel trilogy timeline and he still looks the same? You know what I mean? It's like, we need to do something with that. Maybe they're just going to eventually turn him full CG and have him, like, flip around like Yoda. But it is almost comical how, like, that I like the ending scene of episode 6, but it is almost comical how, like Luke presents this life choice to this toddler who just can't speak, you know, where it's like this Luke's like, here's this like, here's the lightsaber and here's the chainmail and it's a really important choice. And the baby's just like, ooh. It's sort of funny, actually. It's like, does this thing even understand what it's doing? Like, I guess it does. I don't know. It's weird. Oh no! You got me talking about Star Wars, Jaden. That was the worst mistake we ever made.
Yeah,
that was the worst mistake we ever made. Terrible. But yeah, I don't know. At the end of the day, I can't recommend this show, man. I can't. I enjoyed it. I was always going to watch it week to week, purely by fact it's Star Wars. It's not good, you know. I can't recommend it. It's one of those things where I watched Mando with the family. And I watched this by myself, not obviously at the start, not thinking it was going to be significant to Mando. And then obviously that changed. So then I was thinking, like, when we were in the episode 5 week, I was like, oh shit, I'm going to have to rewatch this with the family and all this. And then by the end of it, I'm like, yeah, actually, no, I won't. I actually won't. It's fine. Let's get into our question of the show. As always, wait, hang on. Oh shit. Yeah. Now we hand the show over to you with our question of the show. Last week we asked you, what is your favorite parody movie? Luke said, I remember that some of the scary movies were good, but my favorite parody film would be Austin Powers' Goldmember. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Just making sure because it's coming up as red here on Word. Funny and quotable. There's also Undercover Brother I told Liam about. Well, Liam's not here to explain that at all. I don't know what Undercover Brother is, but yeah, I need to try Austin Powers a little bit more. I think I've watched. Do you know Austin Powers?
Yeah.
Is it the first one where he's like the whole $1 million joke? Is that in the first one?
Yeah.
I think I've seen half.
I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah.
I think I've seen half of that. Yeah. Andy said, not sure if TV shows count, but it's got to be those Star Wars original trilogy parodies from Family Guy. I'm somewhat confident this might be Zach's answer too. Guess what, Andy? You nailed it. I'm not a big connoisseur of parody content, but it's definitely the Family Guy. And they're films, I think, technically, if I'm not mistaken.
I think
or are
they
they TV specials? I think I've always thought of them as films, personally.
Whatever they are, they've got logs on Letterboxd, so...
Perfect. I mean, we all know the weirdness with that, but
yeah.
No, I always enjoyed those. I've watched them a few times. I don't really remember them. I actually might rewatch them soon or something, just for the fun of it. But I also kind of liked how they were always really short. Like, I feel like I was in and out and they didn't drag.
They're like 40 minutes, aren't they? It's like 2 episodes, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I really enjoy that about them too, and they're funny. So that's probably mine. Something tells me you know a few more parody films than me, though, Jaden.
Yeah, well, like, what is a parody film? You know, it's like, is it just something that pokes fun at a genre? Is it employ its full techniques? You know, it's like, would Shaun of the Dead be a parody film? I mean, it's a zombie film, but is it a parody film? You know. But along that line, my favorite parody film is also by Edgar Wright. It's A Fistful of Fingers, which is his. Yeah, it's his first film, and it's obviously a parody of westerns, and it takes its title from the Clint Eastwood film, A Fistful of Dollars. A lot of people kind of like write it off as like as an entry in his filmography, as, you know, oh, it's just his first film. You know, it's like, you know, you see the remnants of a director here, or not remnants, but you see the beginnings of a director here and whatnot. But like, it's actually a film I genuinely like. It is one that I thought was genuinely hilarious and funny, and like, I think it's obviously the weakest of his, you know, filmography, just because like its budget is so fucking small, and it is a shooting film in like kind of every sense of the word, like that you'd expect to come from it, but like it's still immensely entertaining, and I don't know, it's like my kind of humor, and it just does so well. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I need to see that. I would count Shaun of the Dead as a parody film, personally.
Yeah, I probably would too. Yeah.
I think it definitely is. But it's sort of, I don't know, I feel like parody, in what you're talking about with the definition, like it almost sort of suggests a certain quality level where like Shaun of the Dead far exceeds like what you think of as a parody film. So I sort of get the hesitation, but I feel like by definition it is. Like, it's clearly, I mean, the title alone tells you that. So
yeah.
All right. Well, as always, we'd love you to submit your questions, thoughts, and reviews for next week's film in the YouTube comment section. Send us a DM on Instagram. Remember to follow it. Or join the Discord. You can find the link to the Discord in the pinned comment, by the way. I always leave it there. What is your favourite movie set in LA? Will be the question of the week this week. So let us know. I'm sure you'll find there are plenty of options because LA, people like LA. LA is a big city in the world, Jaden, believe it or not.
Strange that.
Strange, yeah, really strange. LA sort of scares me, to be honest with you. Like every depiction of it, I'm like, this place looks terrifying and really large and really flat and really like.
There's hills like right outside LA.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's always like baffling to me because like you always see like kind of like the ocean side and you never like kind of look backwards, but there's like hills everywhere, like big ones too.
I mean, yeah, I know there's like, what is there? There's like Beverly Hills, Hollywood Hills. I assume they're really hills.
No, but I mean like mountains type things as well.
Yeah, right. Because I know you can like go hiking, and I've seen people like take photos that are like of the city. You know what I mean, from these mountains. Yeah, I mean that does look cool. To be honest. But LA looks terrifying, and I'll maybe go there one day when I can.
Anyway, the reason we're talking about this is because
thank you.
next week's film is the poll winner that I nominated, which was LA Confidential. It beat out what did you nominate?
Enemy.
Actually, it's a shame. Yeah, we should watch Enemy, to be honest. Regardless, LA Confidential on Prime, perhaps. Let me double check that.
Okay, I don't know either. I'm excited for this though. I'm excited to like awkwardly talk about Kev Space Dog.
Oh yeah,
even more than we have previously.
Yeah, it's on Prime.
It's gonna be fun. It's on Prime.
Yeah.
Cool. I know nothing about it at all, so I'm excited to get into it. You haven't seen it either?
No, I think Liam has.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll see you all next week. Thanks, Jaden. Bit of fun convo. We miss Liam, our fallen soldier. You know, he's a
wage slave now.
He's a wage slave. That's right. I was trying to come up with like a fun reason he's not here, maybe for law, but wage slave's good enough. That's vague enough. I like that. All right. See you, everyone. Have a good one, and we'll see you next week. See ya. Bye. Thanks.